Okay.
Here we go!
Welcome to the Nintendo Dads, episode 440, recorded on August 17th, 2023. On tonight's episode, we talk about a schwack load of news. We got a ton of news, guys. Did you know that? Not really, no. We got some amiibo news, we got some Pikmin news, some even Super Mario Brothers movie news, and Pokemon wants to slow down the games they're making. Jesse, you know what to do.
Who's ready for story time with Nintendo Dads, baby? That's right. We're here with you. It is episode 440, 8/17/2023. That means it's August. And joining me tonight on the show is my favorite people in the entire world. I mean that with all my heart. Everything I do it for you.
Aw.
Well, yeah, that kind of looks like a heart, right? I don't know. I can't do that. My hands don't work. I don't know. Nothing works tonight.
I can still do this though.
Anyway, joining us on the show tonight, Mr.
Throwing up
Jesse
gang signs. He's throwing up gang signs.
He's the first one to do it. He's throwing up gang signs. That's what happens when you live in Kansas City, right? When you live in a big city.
Yeah. I try to avoid as much as I can. I'll stay. I know my place. I stay in my suburb.
Jesse, listen. From what I understand, you don't choose the thug life. The thug life chooses you.
Maybe
That's correct.
that's what I've been told.
Yeah. So how you doing?
Pretty good. Talking to Tim about work a little bit into pre-show and how it was a quiet week because we have no releases this week and we have nothing in testing this week because we're gearing up to start testing next week.
I ate some really spicy food earlier, so I've had quite a few releases this week. But anyway, speaking of releases, Tim Off, how you doing up there in the Great White North?
I am doing good. I'm trying to recover from moving a 300-pound bed, and then
Don't those things have wheels?
Not when you're trying to move it from a garage to the living room.
Oh,
Stairs.
Oh, so you have to
go
like
up the stairs.
You got to get it through the house. Yeah, there's only a couple stairs, but thankfully, I was glad we didn't have to go to a.
Those things don't collapse.
They do, but it's still 300 pounds.
Tim probably collapsed after it was over.
Yes. And also I'm wearing Optimus Prime, of course. So I got my Optimus Prime shirt and Optimus Prime hat. So I'm feeling optimum.
Well, then you should have made the bed transform and roll out.
Exactly.
Right?
I just didn't have a spark handy.
But what Tim is not telling you is this was his good deed for the week. And he helped a neighbor move a bed that they wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. So for that, Tim, we give you the Nintendo Dads Good Citizen of the Week award. Huzzah!
Woo! Yes, thank you. I was just happy to be able to.
Or is it this?
Yes. No, I just need
There you go.
899 more of those.
And then you get a poop.
Then I get
You get a golden poop. That's fantastic. Well,
Listen.
speaking of golden poop, we've got nothing to talk about on the show this week.
let's just make up some stuff.
There's a very
Let's make up stuff.
small a smattering of news, a smackerel of news, as Winnie the Pooh would say. So let's dive right into it, shall we?
I have something that I can make up that Nintendo dads are going to release amiibos. The Nintendo Dad amiibos. We're going to have a set of 4 and we're going to do like, one of each of us.
Are they all going to come in the same box?
And it'll be a 4-pack. Wouldn't that be awesome if we could do that?
Would be great. I would love that. I've always wanted my own.
So then it'd be
action
$60.
Yes.
No joke. I've always wanted to be an action figure. So,
you can do it with Hasbro now. You know that, right?
I know, and I've got a friend who made one of those. He made like the Jedi pilot thing at Disney World, where he rotoscoped his face,
okay,
and stuff, and it looks nothing like him. So I decided that my money would be better spent on food at Disney World rather than making and it's not a toy; it's actually just a statue. And then I think a few years ago, his kid broke it. So, yeah. So I'm not entirely sure on the story there. But here's what I am sure about: our news each and every week is brought to us by you guys over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads, where for as little as $1 a month, you can join up and be a part of the greatest. I said it, the greatest community of all time. Yeah, and if you are a Patreon producer, heads up, this is a special note for you. Our Patreon producers, you should have a message in your inbox on Patreon for you to confirm your next guest spot on the show. So we need for you to go and click that link, head over to our Calendly, and let us know when you would like to be on the show. Yeah.
Nice. Yep.
Yeah.
And shout out to our newest members. If we haven't said your name already, or if we have, sorry for repeating it, but shout out to Travis, Grissom, and Mo Spankins. I think we said Mo Spankins, but I just love saying his name. So
I wonder if Mo Spankins is a friend or related to a guy that I saw wrestling in a local wrestling federation. They had a poster up of it at our local Mexican restaurant. His name was Mr. Smackums. And so I was thinking like they could be a tag team, Mo Spankins and Mr. Smackums.
Totally.
Like they could call their tag team Laying Hands or something like that. I don't know.
They could bring back Laying the Smackdown.
There you go. Or the Smack and Spank connection.
Yes.
I like that one. That's a winner. We've gotten way over in the weeds, but yeah, we too can make fun of your name if you'll go over to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads and join up. And seriously, it's not making fun. The name Mo Spankins has brought me the most joy any Patreon friend has given me in a while. I don't know, and that's not to belittle all of our other patrons who are amazing.
Kind of ranks up there with Crimson Skidmark.
Oh yeah, we had him for a while too. So yeah,
yes.
I'm Crimson Skidmark was an early patron of the show. I miss that guy. Wonder what happened to him.
We also have somebody too. I just noticed that I want to say is from Asia somewhere because I can't read their name. So
yeah.
Let me see.
This is good because when you get there, I mean, yeah, I like it.
I can't read the name.
And also to our newest patron, Christopher.
Their name is
just joined yesterday. Noise. Okay. Sounds like a transformer.
I'm trying to find it.
If Tim mispronounced your name and you're mad, all complaints
in English,
emails.
it's in English. It says noise.
Okay. Well,
But
if you don't like that, all complaints are directed to the following email: Justin Masson at NintendoDads.org.
yes,
All right?
he's our head of HR. So
He's the head of HR. He will deal with people. Well, speaking of dealing with some stuff, let's deal with the news. It was announced today by Nintendo that 3 new amiibo are incoming on November 17th. It is the 3 members of Deep Cut from Splatoon 3. Yeah, remember that game?
yes,
Splatoon 3, you can
Were they?
scan them.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, they're there, Jesse. Scan them in game to snap a photo with them and get exclusive gear. More info is to come, but those will more than likely be sold in a 3-pack, whereas the others have been sold in a 2-pack, like the Splatoon idols or hosts.
it will go right here
Yeah, are you going to
on
buy
that
them?
shelf. Yes, I have the other hosts, so I need to have these.
Yeah, I've got the other ones too. I really wish that they sold them separately though, because I would just want Big Man.
I don't blame
He's
you.
my favorite. He's my favorite. They can't go like I'm gonna be upset when Splatoon 4 inevitably comes out and Big Man is not there to greet me every Splatfest, since it's the only time I play Splatoon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they could introduce him into the whatever the story mode is, like they've done with
that's
yeah.
true.
Which if trends hold up, he'll be the villain, because they make the good guys the villain. And anyway, I don't know. Or they make them bad. I don't know. These are out November 17th. You'll probably be able to pre-order them within the next couple of days. So I would keep an ear to the ground for that if you want the members of Deep Cut on your amiibo shelf.
Yes.
Other breaking news right here at recording time: Super Mario Brothers Wonder has been discovered to only support local co-op play. So in other words, you will not be able to go online and play co-op with other people. To that, I say, thank God. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to play co-op Mario online with other people?
Have you seen Mario Makers online?
Right? I mean, I don't like co-op Mario for the Wii. Just almost destroyed my marriage once. Like, I don't want that experience when, like, with people I don't know. Like,
yeah, I play Mario games as single player, so it doesn't matter to me either way. It's not happening.
I did see a rumor this week that it got leaked that there is another playable character that they have not talked about yet, and that is Yoshi.
Okay.
So Mario, Luigi, Toad, Daisy, Peach, and now Yoshi.
Are we going to get a Rosalina back?
I would love them to go in a different direction. I would love them to make Wario a playable character alongside Mario.
That would be a bold move.
Or Waluigi. Actually just like put him in a mainline game.
Yeah, so like where Mario kind of messes with his hat when he goes in out of pipes, is Wario just going to fart?
He leaves his garlic behind. He's got to grab it,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's a good idea. It's a good idea. I would love them to just have a whole schwack load of characters, since we're saying that word a lot this show, apparently.
Schwack.
Schwack load. Go ahead, Jesse. It's your turn.
Schwack load.
There you go. Also, this is a fun number. Pikmin 4 has sold 666,000 units physically in Japan. It's a top-selling game in Japan now 4 weeks in a row, which means that it is now likely a million seller in Japan. So if you're totaling it up, that's likely 3 to 5 million worldwide. Did any of you guys expect Pikmin 4 to do that well?
I figured it'd be close to what Pikmin 3 Ultimate did, but this so far looks like it's surpassing it. So great. Awesome. It's a good game.
Yeah. Not surprised.
Yeah.
Let's see Pikmin 5.
I'm
in
like
2028.
It's great. I'm glad that it's doing well. This is totally not a game for me. I'll probably never buy it, but I'm glad people are loving it. I am like feeling the FOMO though, like when it came out and people were playing it and everybody's been talking about it. Like last week on the show, you were talking about the end game, Jesse, and I was like, should I be playing Pikmin 4?
You should totally just skip all the other ones and play Pikmin 4.
No, I don't.
Oh, it definitely. Pikmin 4 is a good starting point. It kind of retcons previous story anyway. So, I say, if you've never played a Pikmin game before and curious, yeah, I'd say start with 4.
Yeah, there's a demo, right, Marty?
Yeah,
Go
demo.
play the demo.
Hmm.
You're not spending any money, and you can
That's
continue
true.
where you left off if you do like it.
That's true. And then I can say whether I like it or not. That's a good idea. It kind of sounds like why demos were created in the first place.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah, I think I went through the demo in like 2 to 2.5 hours, and I knew what I was doing. So someone who's starting over from scratch, you'll spend more time in it in order to get to before you complete it, but you'll just have that much more time in it.
Okay. Gotcha.
There you go.
Well,
looking forward to hearing that one next week.
Yeah. We're going to talk a little bit more in the show about the Mario movie, but we did want to mention something here about it, that the Mario movie, the Japan-only box office amounts have now passed 100 million USD, which makes it the highest grossing movie in Japan for this year. And it is now the 6th highest grossing Hollywood produced movie in Japan for all time. So, long story short, the Mario movie is a success in Japan.
Knocker.
So much so that alongside that, and this is a fun little tidbit. The original 1993 Super Mario Bros. Movie will be released for its 30th anniversary in 4K in theaters in Japan.
And Nintendo is flying all the Nintendo dads out to go see it.
What we wish.
Yeah, we're not. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not.
I'm making up news. Remember, I got to make up some stuff here.
Well, even if they did,
I actually have a passport this time because I haven't had a passport since I was a kid. So, and I got my passport in.
Nice.
Last week or a week before.
Wouldn't that be something if Nintendo said, "Yeah, dads, we want you to come out to Nintendo
do it
here."
I would definitely do it
Japan.
just to see that movie. So of course I wouldn't understand a word they're saying, but I would do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I would not watch that if they paid me to fly over there and watch the movie. That's the only way I'd watch it. That just
I remember making my son watch that movie when he was younger, and he didn't know what was going on.
My kids have never seen it, and as far as I'm concerned,
oh no, it's a rite of passage, man. I saw that in theaters when it was new.
I wonder if we can get the rights.
I think I did too.
I wonder if we can get the rights to share that movie and do a what do you call it? A view, like a view with the audience or something. Everybody watch it with us, and we can do like a mystery theater type thing with it.
Here's what
maybe something we can do in a Discord one night without publicly broadcasting.
Here's what we do, Tim. If we ever get to the level that we want to with Patreon, and we get to the point where we have the fabled, planned, mysterious Nintendo Dad Con that we've talked about having, that will be one of the late night options.
Okay.
Nintendo Dads live react to the Super Mario Brothers 1993 movie.
Okay. Sounds good.
Mystery Science Theater style, served with popcorn and drinks for everyone.
There we go.
So if you would like for that to happen, and you're a listener of the show and you'd like to attend that event, you make that possible by heading over to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads and signing up right now to be a $1, a $5, a $10, or $30 a month patron. And once we're able to do some planning and get to our goal there, which is our goal is once
What is that goal? Like double what we're currently getting?
The goal right now is if we begin to pull in $500 a month or more, then we begin to plan Nintendo Dad's Con.
That's that
For
what
our
it is?
10th year anniversary next year.
I know that used to be the goal, just to send someone to E3, and then we tried.
Well,
that twice,
yeah, but I
and it
think
failed.
we kind of, you could be the reason that E3's gone, is that we were going to send you.
Sure. We'll go with that.
Not mismanagement or industry shifts or COVID or anything like that, right?
Nope.
Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit more about the Mario movie later on in the show with a fun little top 10 list. But before we do that, let's talk about the Pokemon Company. Last week we talked about the kind of disappointing Pokemon Presents that had recently aired and how people were kind of disappointed with that. Well, this week we have a statement from the COO of the Pokemon Company, Takato Utsunomiya. I probably butchered that, but not my language. You can make fun of me. It's okay. Here's what he said. He said, I think in general, if you look at the past, the path we've taken up till now has been this constant release, always regularly releasing products on a fairly fixed kind of cadence, you might say. Always having these products able to be introduced and new experiences for our customers. And that's how we've operated up until now. I think we're still operating in that way, but there are more and more conversations as the development environments change about how we can continue to do this while making sure that we're ensuring really quality products are also being introduced. So let's stop right there and talk about that. A couple of questions I have from this statement, okay? And then we've got a question for the community about this issue that we're going to get to too. But a couple of questions I have about this. Number one, do we think that they are really taking this seriously? And number two, is this a sign that the backlash over Scarlet and Violet has finally been heard? Like, is it possible that we may not get a regular Pokemon, like a Pokemon game every year? Jesse, to you.
I don't think anything's going to change. Not until, like, if Gen 10 comes out and they sell 5 million copies instead of 20, then I think something will change. But I don't think, I think they're going to roll the dice again in 2 years and see what happens.
Oh, I agree. They're going to do the Gen 10 thing at the normal time. But I think what this is stating is that their focus will be on, say, Gen 10 and not to come out with 5 other games around that same generation.
Yeah, this statement is a big nothing burger.
The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding.
So to answer that, one of our friends of the show here, Mikey Dreamer, who, by the way, Mikey Dreamer, host of the Screen Nerds podcast. You need to go check it out. He's a gentleman. He's a scholar. He's a fantastic friend. He's a wrestling fan. I was with him last night at AEW. Fantastic.
And he keeps us up to date with the Mario Brothers movie box.
He sure does. He sure does. He's like our eye in the sky. Like when we're at the news report and they're like, let's throw it up to John Helicopter in the sky with traffic. What are you saying up there, John? Well, that's Mikey. Let's throw it over to Mikey with the Mario movie report. He's just great. You should go check out the Screen Nerds podcast. But he asked this question. It's a really good question. He says, is this statement the please understand from the Pokemon Company?
Please understand.
Was not.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Actions speak louder than words. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if they have truly learned something and we get better products. Because this is what Mecca asks: are we being too harsh on Pokemon?
No,
I don't think so.
I think
absolutely not.
They've gotten one too many passes, and we have to tell them, the game's playable.
Yeah.
Yes, I could sit there and play Scarlet.
I think everyone gave Arceus a pass just because it was doing new things and it wasn't completely broken. It was just a little bit broken. Scarlet and Violet went back to more or less old things with a more broken product.
But the problem too is like it seems like it was worse even than Sword and Shield.
Oh yeah.
Well, here's what I think.
I don't remember technical problems with Sword and Shield. I just remember not liking the plot.
You'll never convince me that Sword and Shield was not supposed to be a 3DS game that was moved up to the Switch.
Oh, no, definitely.
Totally.
It was already almost done. And now, and they got a pass because they did that and it sold. And they're going to get a pass on Scarlet and Violet because everybody ran out and bought it because open world Pokemon. And until people stop doing it. And here's the thing, like too harsh is when I look at my kids and put bread on either side of their heads and say, "What are you?" And they say, "Dad, I'm an idiot sandwich." That's too harsh. I have to apologize for things like that. No, I've never done that, but it's a Gordon Ramsay thing. If I did that, that's too harsh. Here's what's not too harsh. Holding a company that you love their products to a standard to make good products. That's not being too harsh.
That's been my whole argument is that I expected to see improvement in each iteration from game to game. Because to me, that tells me they're learning stuff and getting better at making the games. And I expect quality from them.
Yeah. So this reminds me of what my son showed me earlier this week. He's taking the latest version of the 3DS emulator. He's doing not Ultra Sun or Ultra Moon, but the Gen 4 remakes from that era. I don't remember what they're called. Then he has it. He added mods to like increase the shiny odds and to not have any shiny lock Pokemon, and then he told it to upscale to like 9 times.
Diamond and Pearl and Platinum.
Yeah, but the 3DS remakes, not the original DS games.
Okay.
Yeah, so instead of 240p screens, times 9. So it's I don't know if it is 4K or close to 4K. Maybe it was 1440, but it looks great. So. And it runs well. Like it runs at 60 frames a second. So so the original 3DS engine was sound. It just needed, better processor, more power to do more things with it. So they could have just kind of done that on the Switch. Probably could have done, and it would have been a good product. Maybe not a great one, but it wouldn't have been broken.
I think the problem is, and we talked about this back when Scarlet and Violet came out and there was a lot of hubbub about it and everything, is that the Pokemon Company has been given a pass for too long.
Yes.
By a community that props it up because my Pokemons, let me show you them. And don't talk bad about Pokemon, and there's this emotional attachment to that world. But the thing is that we are now many console generations past the original nostalgia, and they're not gaining new fans with this type of game. They're pushing people away. And when they're doing that, then that weakens the franchise overall for everybody. Imagine if Nintendo kept releasing, and I know some people would be okay with this, if Nintendo kept releasing new Zelda games that had the same story beats as Ocarina of Time and only minor graphical upgrades each generation.
So Twilight Princess.
Yeah. And adding in, and on top of that, it was a buggy mess and they never fix it. This is Nintendo's flagship IP. like one of their flagship IPs, right? And here's the thing: Nintendo's released games that have been buggy before. They've apologized. They fixed them. You've got to think Nintendo has all these other franchise under the umbrella. Pokemon is literally all the Pokemon company does. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And so if you want it to be better, stop shoveling money down their throats.
Well, Game Freak does do other projects other than Pokemon.
Yes, but very rarely.
Yeah. And they're usually smaller scale. But to get
the town
majority
game and other stuff, yeah.
Yeah. But the majority of their focus is Pokemon.
I mean, if we're honest, and nobody wants to be honest with Pokemon, that even from the beginning, even from the very first releases, even from Blue and Red, there's been a lot of unnecessary bad things in those games that could have been done better. But people give it a pass because it's Pokemon.
I'd almost want to say, let's give this to someone else besides Game Freak in a mainline capacity.
Yes. Hey, dream with me here just a little bit. Pokemon Gen 10, developed by Monolith.
Oh, they would need 7 years to build it, but that would be awesome.
There you go. People were saying on the show last night, man, I love that you talked about Monolith Soft. Well, okay, give them the game. Let somebody new try it. I mean, it's like Star Fox. Let somebody else have it. If you're not going to make the game or you're not going to do it right, let somebody else do it with love. You know what a great example of that is too? Sonic Mania.
Yeah.
Sega could not make a good Sonic game to save their lives. Fans stepped in. Boom. There it is.
And then still they haven't had one with the same level of quality since.
So, do I think we're being too harsh on the Pokemon company? No. I think they need to be whipped soundly and put to bed until they can figure out how to make a good game. Moldy bread and water only. No. All they get from now on to eat is barbecued plush Pikachus. Until they figure out how to make it. They take Pikachus, the plushes, they set them on fire, they roast them, put some sauce on it. That's it. That's all they get to eat until we make it a good game. There you go. Anyway, speaking of games, let's talk about a couple of game releases and updates.
Yeah.
Finally, we have a release date for TMNT Shredder's Revenge, the Dimensional Shell Shock DLC. It is coming August 31st. That includes all new levels, Usagi Yojimbo, and a brand new character that was revealed with this trailer, Karai, who is coming to the game as well. So now I think that means 7 characters that you can play as. 8. Yeah, because the first game had the 4 turtles,
April, Splinter, Casey,
and now Usagi Yojimbo, and
that's 9.
Yeah, that's a lot of characters. I am super excited about this. Love this game. August 31st. No details on whether this is a free update. I'm going to guess you're going to have to pay for it. It looks pretty substantial. I'm really, really looking forward to playing this at the end of the month. And Batman Arkham Trilogy now has a date as well of October 13th. That is for the digital and the physical release, I believe. So if you're wanting to score that physically, it'll be out on the 13th. However, that is only going to include the first game on the cart. The other 2 will be downloads. Boo.
Not surprised, though.
No. But this is if I'm not wrong here, an absolute complete package. Is that correct?
Yeah,
all the DLC,
all
the
3
costumes.
games, all the DLC. That's my understanding.
Yep. All right. Well,
and
that's out.
City had 13th. a lot of costume DLC.
Mm-hmm.
I remember jumping through hoops getting the Batman Beyond skin. I had to buy a specific brand of energy drink and put in a code.
Yep, it was but it's a very good costume.
And that energy drink tasted awful, but
was it Red Bull?
No, like NOS. maybe.
Oh.
I don't remember.
Yeah, those are gross. Those are real
Yeah,
bad.
I remember I made, back when I was just starting the YouTube channel and I only had a handful of videos on it. Before I did any podcasting, I actually made a video. And, this is before I had a capture card. So I actually literally recorded, the TV. It looked like garbage. But that video is still out on my YouTube channel somewhere, I bet.
Wow.
Nice.
I had my son control. He did like a fly around the city and then landed and faced the camera. It looked really cool. I'll have to find that and see if I can put it in the chat.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, that's all our news. We told you there wasn't a whole lot. But anyway, let's take a break for our ad from our good friends over at Manscaped.
The Premier League is back in action, so it's only right we partner with the premier men's grooming company, Manscaped. A class above the rest, Manscaped is now focusing on their off-ball movement with their Beard Hedger Pro Kit. Manscaped is known for their elite ball skills, but with the Beard Hedger, they are helping people notice that pretty face too. So whether you're they're talking about soccer names. I don't know these names, but if you're Lionel Messier down south,
It's messy.
Messi. Oh, it's Messi. That's why they said
Lionel Messi.
Lionel Messi down south, or just focusing on looking sharp like Ronaldo. You can get the best men's grooming products at manscaped.com and get 20% off plus free delivery with our code NINDADS at checkout. That's NINDADS for 20% off and free delivery. Now, the Beard Hedger is available worldwide, so men from shotgun it. I should have read this first. La Liga. I do know these soccer things. Can get an immaculate facial hair to match the boys downstairs. The Beard Hedger face trimmer is a juggernaut of fixing faces. First off, the waterproof cordless trimmer has a rotary wheel that gives you 20 hair cutting lengths, all with one guard. So no more messy drawers full of extra add-ons. Yeah, you heard that. No more drawers full of 20 different guards. With 20 lengths, it's never been so easy to find your signature beard. Plus, the trimmer has a titanium-coated T-blade, and that is tough on hair, but smooth on your face, leading to a single stroke efficiency that brings satisfaction one stroke at a time. Just because Manscaped has moved above the growing doesn't mean that they lost track of the ball. They still have the Lawnmower 4.0. This trimmer is simply the best hygiene tool to help you keep the grass on the pitch the perfect length. The Lawnmower 4.0's ceramic blades reduce nicks and cuts in your most sensitive regions. This revolutionary tech is the best defense you could find for your penalty box. The trimmer's battery also lasts 90 minutes. You could be shaving your nether regions for an entire football match. Remember to take a little water break at halftime, of course. So go get your perfect trimmer for your face and happy place with the Manscaped Beard Hedger and Lawnmower 4.0 with 20% off and free delivery with the code NINDADS at manscaped.com. Again, that's NINDADS, 20% off, free delivery at manscaped.com. But also keep in mind that right now they have a sale going on, which is currently 20% off. And unfortunately, these two things are not stackable. So keep that in mind. Marty found that out the hard way. So that's it for us with Manscaped. Back to you guys.
All right. It's time to discuss. And boy, do we have a topic tonight. I love this. Earlier this week, EmpireOnline.com posted a news article entitled 10 Nintendo Characters Who Deserve Films After the Super Mario Brothers Movie. And we've talked a little bit about this, but I showed it to the guys and said, hey, let's get together our list of top 10 characters who deserve films after the Super Mario Brothers movie. But before we talk about ours, let's share with you their list, some of which you go, oh yeah, and some of which you go, huh? Anyway, we'll start at the top and go down.
Number 9 will shock you.
Yes, number 9 will shock. I love those. This is a top 10 reasons that something number 9 will shock you. Click here. And then it's one reason per page that loads with tons of ads.
I hate those.
Oh, awful. Daily Dot, I'm looking at you. Anyway, here are the top 10 Nintendo characters and franchises that deserve their own film from Empire Online. I don't think these are in any order. They were not numbered on the website, but it's in the order that they were put in or encountered. The Legend of Zelda. It's kind of broad, but okay. Star Fox. So it could either be the character or the franchise. Metroid. Also kind of broad. Fire Emblem. Also kind of broad. F-Zero. Earthbound. Punch-Out. And then here's where we get in the weeds a little bit. Wario. Chain Chomp. And Ice Climbers. Feel like, why did Chain Chomp get its own thing here?
Told you it will shock you.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe I don't see a whole movie. Maybe a short, like what Miyamoto did with the Pikmin shorts back in the 3DS.
A Chain Chomp short. You know what I would love to see is
but this was like who deserve a movie.
Yeah, a movie. I don't think I could watch a Chain Chomp movie.
Yeah, that was an interesting choice. So don't remember seeing. Oh no, there was explanations. I just didn't read it.
Their explanation for
it
is yes. Hear us out. Here it is. Hear us out. It's Homeward Bound meets Legion of Super Pets. After its master, Iggy Koopa, and the rest of the Koopalings are driven off by Mario, an abandoned Chain Chomp tries to find its way home. Teaming up with a Goomba, a Cheep Cheep, and a Shy Guy, and guided by Lackey 2, Chain Chomp and pals must use their unique abilities to survive the perils of the Mushroom Kingdom, learning along the way that they can be more than just cannon fodder for the Koopalings. At some point, a toad will tell Chain Chomp he's a very good boy, and you will cry. 5 stars.
Wow.
I would watch this movie right now. I'm done. I would watch that movie.
Okay.
This tells you how much time they have on their hands.
Yeah.
Well, they are a movie publication, so they.
Yeah, so, I suppose with the strikes going on, there isn't a lot of those stuff going on to write about.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is. So let's go around the horn here. We'll do this snake draft style, and if somebody takes yours, just say same, and then we can get to the end of the list. So this is we'll call this our top 10 and then some list of Nintendo characters that deserve their own film. Tim, we'll start with you.
Actually, I wanted to jump in first just because I haven't had a time to come up with a list because we've kind of beat this horse to death several times already.
We have, and, but it's fun.
And the answer is yes.
Yes, you'll watch any Nintendo movie?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Way to not do the assignment. It's okay.
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, I have other things I had to do.
What about you then, Tim?
Well, let me ask this, Jesse. Is there anything on this list that you would disagree with? Or do you feel there's anything missing?
I think the Ice Climbers could be interesting. Wario could be interesting. I think Chain Chomp is the one that really doesn't belong until they did that description, and then I'm like, okay, I don't know.
All right, well, think of one that may be missing from their list, or maybe you'd swap out too. But my list,
they even added Mother, so I don't know. They pretty much mentioned the big franchises already.
Yep.
Yeah. Like I could see them trying to do like a gritty, realistic Ice Climbers. You know, I don't know.
Where the villain is that fish.
Or the villain is the vulture that comes and drops, that has the fruit that you're trying to, or the eggplant that you're trying to grab. I don't know. Whatever the big bird was, it albatross?
I don't know. I've never got that far.
You never? Okay. Did you never beat a level in Ice Climbers?
I don't think so, because the jumping physics were horrible.
They are. So if you ever beat a level, you get a bonus round where you're trying to get to the top of the mountain. And once you get there, there's a red bird that you have to like jump up and grab onto it, which is, again, the jumping physics sucks. So it's really hard to do that.
Yeah, definitely a game that was pre-Mario Brothers. Or pre-Super Mario Brothers. But still, they had Mario Brothers in there. And the jumping there is good. So I don't get it.
I thought Ice Climbers came out already. It was called Cliffhanger.
Sylvester Stallone as Popo.
Well, yeah, Nintendo says wouldn't Punch-Out just be a Rocky movie?
All right.
I think that they could do a really good Punch-Out movie where they do like do you guys remember, and this may be totally dating myself or off or whatever, that do you remember the 1980s or maybe early 90s Dick Tracy movie?
Yes.
The live action one.
Mm-hmm.
If they did a Punch-Out movie like that, where it was all like real makeup and effects, like like costuming and everything for like King Hippo and Glass Joe and all Macho Man, and they were all like swole up bigger than him.
Let's offend everybody in the process.
That would be awesome.
Yes. I would watch that for sure.
Then of course you need DK as the boss.
Oh yeah. And look, they could tie it back to the Mario movie. And now you've got the Smashiverse or whatever they're going to call it, the Nintendoverse coming in. Tim, I think you've got a good idea here, because I think this probably hit a lot of our top tens, right? Because I was going to say Zelda and Metroid and all that.
I got 4 out of their 10 on my list.
Yeah. Are there any that you would add or disagree with?
There's some I would add, would throw if I had my own 10 list. There's 4 I would keep, which is Metroid, Zelda, Star Fox, and Fire Emblem. But there are 6 others that that are not on here. First one I'll mention is Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Ooh,
because that is more sci-fi than fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would be cool to see a story, a movie based on the Chronicles X game.
Okay.
Cool.
I think that it's weird that that Pikmin is not on this list. I think Pikmin would make a fantastic kids movie, right?
I'm with you on that one. That's on my list too.
So
yeah, I think the reason why I didn't think of that is because I tried watching the shorts that I mentioned earlier and fell asleep through them.
Understand.
So they for some reason they weren't great to me, but I still like the games.
What if it was live action though? What if they did a live action Pikmin?
You still have to have most of it animated. It's like the Smurfs movies. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. There's gonna be a lot of CGI, I'm sure, but that would be kind of cool. All right, another one I have is a movie based on Advance Wars.
Yes.
So I when I played it, I loved the characters and all that kind of stuff in there, and especially the cartoony type of characters. And again, a lot of these I'm thinking live action, not animated like Mario. I'm thinking live action versions of these. And I think it would be kind of fun if we had a live action version of Advance Wars, some of those characters coming to life, and just be a fun, war movie. It doesn't have to be taken serious.
I think that might be difficult because they're definitely going to want to minimize the just fodder. Since in the game all the units are expendable, and it doesn't matter how many people die as long as you still win. That will make a good movie, especially from a Nintendo movie.
I mean, like G.I. Joe cartoons where, the bad
Yeah.
guys just jump out and
Yeah.
why not? You can make it campy. Why not just make it campy and make it goofy and just be like, call it out in the movie?
Also, I'll add my next one here. Why is Kirby not on this list?
I don't know.
Where is Kirby? Kirby would be a great movie. I honestly, here's my thing, because I know this says movies and who deserve their own film, but you know what I think would be a great, like little kids, like I'm talking like Paw Patrol, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse type thing, is Kirby.
Oh, he has had shows in the past.
He has as a show in the past, but I'm talking about for like little kids, like
Right.
like a preschooler show. It's Kirby. He has to use his copy abilities to save the day, right?
Okay. I like where you're going with that, but what if we did a Roger Rabbit type Kirby movie where Kirby is cartoon Kirby in the real world?
So it's
Roger Rabbit style.
It's Sonic the Hedgehog.
Or Smurfs again.
Sure.
Listen, I'm down for that, especially if the only thing that Kirby says the entire movie is Poyo. Poyo.
What if it is a Roger Rabbit sequel? I mean, that introduces the video game world. It has its own world, just like cartoon world. There's a video game world, and
Wreck-It Ralph.
But it has live action people.
This is giving me another great idea. Do you guys remember Muppet Babies?
Yes.
What if we had Star Fox babies?
Oh no.
Star Fox babies.
Okay.
They're guarded by they're guarded and not guarded. They're cared for, nurtured, and taught by Rob the Robot in the nanny role. And then
I thought you were going to say Wolf.
They have to escape. They have to escape the nursery to fly missions for General Pepper, who is menaced by Baby Wolf and all the other Star Wolf team.
Wait, I thought Wolf was Cloud's dad.
No.
I thought they were related.
Star Wolf is his bitter rival.
Oh, okay.
James McCloud is his dad. And obviously, he wouldn't be in the show because no preschool shows ever have any dads that show up. Except Louie.
If you do, all you see is their ankles.
True.
Isn't that what they did? Didn't they do that with Muppet Babies? They had an adult, but all you could see was their feet.
That's Nanny.
Am I thinking of some different show? I don't remember.
Maybe Looney Tunes. You're thinking or Tiny Toons. There was that one baby character that had the mom that would come in, or the nanny or whatever, and all you saw were the legs.
You're thinking of Muppet Babies. She had the striped socks, and you could only see her feet and ankles, and you could hear her voice. That's Muppet Babies.
Okay. All right.
Okay. I am not going insane. Just a little bit.
All right. So my next one is a live action Ash and Pikachu Pokemon movie.
So kind of in the vein of the Detective Pikachu, but with Ash.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. I remember talking about that back in the day.
Yes. That should be here on the list.
Okay.
Now that Ash is no longer in the anime.
Yes.
Here is my last one. Here it is, my last shot. In a world where the surface has become inhospitable, mankind has taken to the skies where they war for control of available land. Can you survive the balloon fight?
Well placed.
Or is it
seriously?
Right.
That's probably better. That's probably a better. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's all of the.
I can at least control the character. I can at
Oh,
least control the characters in Balloon Fight, unlike Ice Climber.
I got a couple more.
okay. Go for it, Tim.
The other two, first one is Kid Icarus movie, kind of based on that last game we got. I think would be a great movie. And
Okay.
then, yeah, Jesse, what were you gonna say?
No, okay, I can see that.
And then another one I thought would be kind of cool is Sin and Punishment would be a cool movie. A group of rebels has been murdered, and the characters and their three most important members must steal an armored volunteers transport to escape Tokyo. As they reach it, they meet a huge quadruped ruffian Raiden and who attacks Saki but is eventually killed. A woman called Kachua, a commander of armored volunteers, appears and reveals that Raiden was her research project. She attacks Saki but is defeated, and she falls from the roof. The city is flooded in a sea of blood. Some crazy stuff going on here.
Mikey
Very Nintendo.
Mikey says he thought Marty was describing Pilot Wings, and Miz says Urban Champion, the movie.
Yes.
Nice. And then there's Blast Corp movie, similar to Speed. And Friendo.
Yeah. I like it. I'm okay with that. I would do all of those.
Nice. Nice. Well, that was what I had down.
Okay.
Good topic, Marty. Good topic.
Okay. Maybe. Well, let's move on here. Solo something asked this before we move on. He says, regarding the 10 Nintendo franchises and characters who deserve the movie treatment, do you think Fire Emblem could have more commercial success as a live action than a Zelda movie?
I think Fire Emblem. I've said this with Zelda. I think I'd rather see that as a TV show. I think Fire Emblem could also do well as a TV show, and then different seasons can be, different iterations, different generations of the game. Starting it out, each one is kind of isolated, and then later on you get into the timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly stuff where you bring Crom back and stuff.
Nice.
You get the All-Stars cast.
Yeah, I like that. Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Well, guys, with that being talked about, let's move on and talk about some events, shall we? Each and every third Friday of the month, it's time for the table, where the community gets together to discuss whatever, just like you do at your own dinner table. It's a Discord voice chat room. It's not a real table that we buy and, meet up at, but you can just talk about whatever's on your mind. This happens the third Friday of every month at 10 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join in, you can subscribe to us via Patreon or Twitch, get access to the Discord, and then join in with the discussion there, as well as monthly mayhem, which will be coming up very soon. We will find out the brand new monthly mayhem that will be going on via the Discord. Also, don't forget the Nintendo Summer of Play Tour is going on right now. It should be wrapping up. Gamescom opening night will be next week on August 22nd, and we're really, really close to Nintendo Live 2023 and PAX West, which begins September 1st and runs through September 4th. And don't forget Extra Life 2023, which will be coming up in a couple of months for us. We're still in the planning stages. However, Dad's After Dark has Extra Life going on this weekend, August 29th, 2023, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 19th, I'm sorry. August 19th, 2023, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mountain Time. And we've got a special word from the Dads After Dark that we're going to play for you right now.
Hey, Nintendo Dads. It's John from the Dads After Dark show. Your partners in the Extra Life 2023 campaign. I wanted to call in and remind everybody that we are going to be doing our Extra Life Marathon. No, not in November. It is Saturday, maybe tomorrow if you're listening to this on a Friday. And we are going to have so much fun. I'm going to meet Drew. Okay, I'm meeting Drew. Drew is flying in with Hambone Johnny, and they're going to meet Kuz and I here in Denver. And the four of us are going to spend 2 days together. I'm sleeping over. It's just going to be a big party. I think they kicked Kuz's family out of his house. It's nuts. We've got snacks, we've got drinks, but we are raising money for Extra Life. And so far, we have raised over $1,000. That is incredible. I just want to thank everyone in the Nintendo Dads audience. It has been so cool to see. But our marathon is on Saturday, August 19th from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. It will be on Twitch. You can find us there, twitch.tv/dadsafterdarkshow. And you can donate. The link is bit.ly/dadsindenverlive. And if you donate before, let's just say the first hour of our stream, so 10 a.m. on Saturday, you have a chance to double, triple, quadruple all of your lottery ball chances to win among many prizes that we have listed. You can win a copy of Minecraft Legends, Metroid Prime Remastered, Advance Wars, the Pikmin games. There are tons of prizes, eShop, Amazon gift cards, merch boxes, plushies. We even have Dad's merch you can win, and you can win a spot on the Dads After Dark Show podcast in a special episode where you will be our guest. So check us out. We have details, all the details about our show on our Substack. That's dadsafterdarkshow.substack.com. I can't wait for everyone to join us on Saturday. I can't wait for Saturday. But thank you guys for everything you do on your campaign, and we're hoping to get you guys to your $10,000 goal. It's just a great time. Give money to Extra Life. We're benefiting the Children's Hospital here in Colorado. Thanks, Dads.
Oh, awesome. They've got, like, can I just be honest with you, hearing their stuff, we got to up our game, guys. We got to up our game. They're doing
they actually have planning involved. And
yeah. Planning.
Well,
it's magical. That's amazing though, too, because they were, their first initial milestone was $250, and then they kept having to up it, and because everybody just showing up, which is awesome. And now they are over $1,000 in donations, which is fantastic for them, because they were just thinking they were going to get $250. Then it kept increasing, 250, 500, 750. Now they're at over 1,000. Good job, guys. Good job.
Yeah, I am so proud of them. Any bit that we can do for Extra Life is incredible. So yeah, just keep going, and y'all be sure to check them out this weekend. Again, that's bit.ly/dads-in-denver-live to donate. And we'll be shooting out some texts and tweets, or text. Why we don't text anybody? We'll be shooting out some X's, or what have you call them, Zeets now? I don't know. I feel so behind with it. I don't know.
They're still tweets to me.
We'll be posting on X the link over the weekend, so that you can get connected with them and check out all that's going on. But again, be sure to head over to twitch.tv and be a part of their stream on Saturday. It's just going to be a fantastic time. And go help them reach their goal and just blow past it. Yay, Extra Life. One of my favorite times of the year. Seriously. Now it's time for Jesse's Minutes.
Yeah, that sounds. I still don't know if I like the quality of that audio. It just sounds mushy a little bit, but
it's classic. It's just classic. Come on.
Maybe it's just the quality of the music from the game, emulating 1981 hardware.
Yes, it's classic.
Anyway,
I love it.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I didn't have anything until Tim said I go, maybe I should add this to news. He goes, or you can talk about it later. And I'm like, that's a good idea. So announced earlier today or yesterday, I think it was earlier today, a Scott Pilgrim animated show will be dropping on Netflix on November 17th. And, I was a fan of the franchise just based on the original books before there was a movie. So I'm all in this on the animated show, and the voice cast, a good chunk of the voice cast are the actors from the movie. So that'll be interesting.
I cannot wait for this. This is my thing too. This week. I'm really excited.
Hopefully they have the better ending than the movie, because I described it like Game of Thrones. They wrote the end of the TV show before the end of the books, so they had to make up something. That's what happened with the end of the movie from Scott Pilgrim, because the books weren't done yet, but now they are. So hopefully, yeah. And in fact, I have all the books, and then I rebought them colorized, because originally they were just black and white. And in fact, I haven't even opened that box yet. I still have the box of all the 6 books or 8 books just still sealed. So I need to open those someday. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
The animation looked really good. I think they nailed the spirit of the whole thing. Like it just looks good. However, it's a Netflix release, so I'm waiting for the inevitable disappointment.
At least it isn't another like live action anime attempt, because those never go well.
Why would they do that?
I did like the
movie.
Went
the opposite way.
I think they did a good job with the original movie, but
it's one of my favorites just because of the soundtrack played well together with what they did in the movie, and it's one of my favorites. So,
yeah. Do you have a minute this week, Tim?
Sure. I can always make a minute. No, I don't have anything new this week. I'm good.
Okay. I do have one other thing, and I'll be very brief on this. I know some of our fans, some of our listeners are pro wrestling fans. And as I mentioned on the show last week, I got the opportunity to go last night live to AEW Dynamite, which was on the air last night from 7 to 9 p.m. I do not know if you can see me. I don't think that you can. Our group was off to the like if you're looking at the ring, we were to the right and up. So on the off chance that there's a diagonal shot across the ring and there's people in the background, you might be able to see us barely. But that's not the thing. That's not the thing I want to talk about. Number one, last night's show, all the proceeds from that show were going to be donated, and all proceeds from all of AEW shows this weekend are going to be donated to the Maui Food Bank. If you guys have been watching the news, you know that you have seen all the stuff that's going on over in Lahaina and the wildfires over there that have completely decimated that town. And so they were able to take all of the proceeds, which meant actually a big sponsorship that they had for, and we'll get to the sponsorship and why this is a video game tie-in here in just a minute. But anyway, they do this thing every year called Fight for the Fallen, where they pick a charity and they donate all their proceeds to it. Right now, it is the Maui Food Bank. So you guys can go over and you could donate as well. I'm looking for the link right now as we speak. So you could just Google Maui Food Bank. I think that's one way you could get to it. However, they did a tie-in during the show with a special match, a Texas death match or a Texas chainsaw death match to tie in with the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre game that is coming out. And y'all, it's one of those things that if you've not seen it, I don't know, like have you ever seen something where it's so bad that it's good? That is this match.
Yeah.
Okay. It had people getting driven through tables. It had people getting covered in fake blood. It had Leatherface show up. And just a really classy thing was the sponsorship was reportedly $100,000. And the owner of AEW donated all of that to the Maui Food Bank, as well as all the other proceeds for the evening. So you can head over and you can make a donation. I found them on Twitter. It's at Maui Food Bank. So if you would like to be a part of that, you can do it. But I highly encourage you to go and look up this match on YouTube or wherever and look at the highlights and realize that what you're seeing, we were in the arena and we had no clue what was happening. Like they're hiding behind bleachers. Nobody can find them. There's this weird orange light shining. Leatherface showed up in like a Walmart Leatherface mask. There's a championship belt with Leatherface's picture on it. It's one of the most bizarre things, and this is why I love pro wrestling. It's fantastic. So you should go check it out and check out that episode of AEW Dynamite. It was really, really good. And you might become a new fan. Who knows? But yeah. So, Tim, you do have something. What is it?
Yes. It is this. I want to try and play. I think I've talked about it briefly before. Transformers deck building game.
I have that.
Yes. You can play it.
I've never taken it out of the box.
I have yet to do that too, but it's 1 to 5 players.
Okay.
So you can play it by yourself or with up to 5 players. So
are you going to play it this weekend?
I'm gonna try to figure that out. Whether I can or not, I don't know.
Well, if you do, let me know if it's good.
Okay.
I also got a brand new board game called Abducktion that Skinny Matt actually posted about, and it's a game about abducting tiny plastic ducks with a rubber UFO.
I saw an ad for that on Facebook, and
it's very fun. Very fun.
Just look at the art.
I was going to say if you do that I say maybe not do it. Maybe not on Saturday because of the Dads After Dark thing, but if you do it on Sunday, you should stream it on Twitch.
Stream me playing it. That's true. Yeah.
If you can bring up
and it is
camera.
Extra Life's tabletop weekend too. Maybe I can try to.
There you go.
Get some donations.
Yeah. There you go. Well, that's our minutes. Now let's talk about what we've been playing. Jesse, what you been playing?
Okay, I have a few things. The first 2 are games that I streamed on Twitch and YouTube last weekend. The first one was Stray Gods, the role-playing musical, and I streamed the first act and wanted to finish the run before the show, but I never went back to it, so hopefully this is something I'll get to in an upcoming weekend. But it's basically like a visual novel. You know, just things happen around you, and but instead of having to read everything's voice acted. So that kind of makes things easier for people who don't like, read. And like the plot is, you're a musician, and you meet someone shows up to your audition, and you kind of find her a little odd, but she compliments you on your singing voice. She sings, and you an impromptu duet happens. Okay, that was weird. But then later on in the evening, that person shows up at your house, says, "I am dying. Find out, basically find out who killed me." And she's like, "What?" And then this yellow light comes out from her and goes into you, and she's all confused. And basically, she discovers that the Greek pantheon still exists, and she was the last muse. And because your character, I think her name was Grace, inherited her eidolon, your character is now the last muse, and are tasked to find the killer of Calliope. Otherwise, you will be killed. Because with the rest of the pantheon thinking that you usurped her power, as opposed to it being granted willingly. So so with that muse power, she basically is able to. She can't force anything to anyone, but basically it's like a highly encouragement of other people's around them creative side, basically making them spontaneously sing. So like there's a scene where Apollo and Persephone are arguing, and you're trying to get them to stop, and your power triggers, and it turns into a trio.
musical.
A musical, yeah. And during, like, if you remember Final Fantasy VI's Opera House scene, where in the middle of the event you have options you have to choose from, and if you have to pick the right option to continue, otherwise it fails.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of happens here, but it's not necessarily a right and wrong option. It's just different options. So you can steer the direction of the quote unquote conversation in song to one way or another. So it, encourages, replay.
Nice.
So like really early on, you have to decide whether you want to side with Pan or side with your friend. And you have the option of one, the other, or neither. And it depends on your options at the time while you're singing the song. And it's like real time. So you have a time limit to answer. I'm not sure what happens if you don't answer anything. I have never chosen the non-answer route. But every time you give an answer in time, then the song leans that way. And so it is interesting, and I do want to see how this run ends. And then if I have time, I'll do another run making different options to see what else happens to it. I presume this will be one of those things where there's multiple endings depending on what choices you make. But
yeah, it was fun when I sat in on your stream and watched bits of it. I had it playing in the background when I was doing other things too, and so it was cool.
Yep. So yeah, I Act 1 pretty much plays really linearly. And then in Act 2, I like the first choice. I have the choice to go to one or three different locations, and that's where I stopped playing. And I want to get back to it.
Nice.
Yeah. Next game is Wizardry School Escape Room. Yeah, we talked a few weeks ago about what a game from what publisher is a game that you'll play no matter what, and my answer was MC2 Games. This is that.
Okay.
So I've liked, in general, I like their escape rooms. They usually have one or two convoluted puzzles I don't understand, and then need to walk through to solve it, and I can get to the rest of it. This one had more like 4 or 5, including the last puzzle. I don't understand the last puzzle at all. I ended up just completely just looking it up and to get to the end. But the first time I looked up an answer, I had the right idea. I just somehow messed up the implementation. So
I hate it when that happens.
Yeah.
Like,
Anyway,
damn it, I had it.
so I did stream the entire game. It was about 3 hours long. So uh, so that whole playthrough is out there. And but again, I liked it. I'll play the next one. And I don't expect to ever be able to solve one of these games without hitting a walkthrough at least once. But still, it was less than a handful, so I'm okay with it. In the last game, I picked up Final Fantasy IV again and continued that playthrough. Since the last time when I stopped playing that is when when Tears of the Kingdom came out. So yeah, it's been a while, and but I've played the game enough to know kind of to remember what happened before where I was, and I was able to pick up from where I left off, and actually made a few. I uploaded a few video clips to Twitter/X this afternoon. One of them was I called it. I said, "Oh, Rydia, you'll get it next time." I started the battle, 4 bats spawned, and Edge 1 shot, Cecil 1 shot, Rosa 1 shot, Rydia 93 damage, and everyone else is doing 1,000. So, and then like 2 encounters later, it was a similar type of fight where Edge attacked but didn't 1-shot it, and then Rydia attacked and did the kill shot. So I'm like, see, I told you can do it. So
Nice.
But yeah, that was I did get stuck in a story bit. I didn't realize I had to go back into the castle and find a specific NPC to continue. But once I did that, I was able to advance, and I did some kind of side wandering around. So I think I'm a little bit over leveled of where I should be. Like the dungeon I'm in has every door is a trapdoor monster, and its first attack is a scan, and then so like the first time I fought one of these things, that person I put in defense, and then I had everyone else attack, but it died before it could do its attack, so I don't know what type of attack it does. So every time I see one of these doors, I just go all out attack, and it'll be killed before it does its main attack. So it's just basically free XP for me. And there's 8 doors, so that's just free XP. And I leveled up twice. I think leveled up twice just doing doors. So I don't think I was supposed to be that overpowered at that point. I think those doors are meant to be a little bit of a challenge. Well, Spankin says, "I love how much passion and time Jesse has for games I'd never even attempt to play."
Yep. That is what we say as well.
I have to live vicariously through Jesse on some of those games.
Yep. Yeah. Tim, what you been playing, buddy?
So I do plan on finishing 4 and going to 6 when I'm done with that. Presuming, WrestleQuest, Sea of Stars don't get in the way. So we'll see where that all ends.
Why are you skipping 5?
Because I have no nostalgia for it. I will try it again, but I don't see myself. I see it like 3. It's just a game I'll try and fall off of it. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, gotcha. I've been playing more Legend Bowl. That's the American football game on the Nintendo Switch. Loving every minute that I play on it because it is an American football game playing portably on my Switch. It is available on some of the other systems as well, but I just wanted an American football game on that looked kind of like the classic Madden. If I'm not going to get that Madden, this is the next best thing. So I'm loving every minute of it. So if you are somebody who likes the American football games or wants an American football game on a Nintendo Switch, go check out Legend Bowl. on the Nintendo Switch. I do believe, if I remember correctly, there is a demo for it too, so you can go check it out and try it out. And if you also want, you can check out the videos I've done on the game as well. I did a first look on our YouTube channel and also did a stream of it, of checking out the franchise mode and sharing that as well. So I had a lot of fun because when I did the stream, the creator came and stopped by that stream and gave some tips on setting up a good playthrough of this game on the Switch. So
Cool.
go check that out. It was a lot of fun. I also played also on a video that we've got out there, Quantum Recharged. It's another recharged game by Atari and their developers over there who work on that game. I did a first look. It's out there, but it's a good pick, quick, high score, try to get the best score you can type thing where you play different missions, try to get the highest score possible and play against your friends or the world on trying to get the highest score on the game. And what I like about Quantum Recharged is that you're a little ship that has to enclose other things in your space, because it could be enemies, it could be projectiles, just other things that are coming at you in your ship that you enclose by just drawing a line around the space and creating kind of like this vortex where anything that's close enough will kind of suck it into it. Or if these objects are going towards it, they will get sucked into this little vortex and then they disappear from the screen. And the object of the game is not to get hit. You get 3 chances with that. You get 3 ships essentially, or your shield lasts 3 times. And you do get some health to help, or 1-ups to help you boost your shields so you can last longer and get a higher score. And of course, as the game goes on, more and more enemies and projectiles come in on the screen that do different things and react differently on your screen. So you have to accommodate for that. And you do have ways to boost your ship to get past or through things or avoid things. It's kind of got I don't know if you guys heard me talk about Key before, the game that was on Atari a long time ago. QIX is how it was spelled, where you had to draw a box and, to take out chunks of your screen. And then if you took out a certain percentage, you survived and move on to the next thing. And then eventually enemies come on those lines and stuff like that. It kind of gives me that vibe, but definitely it's different because it's free drawing. You don't have to draw boxes or anything like that. It's just these shapes can be any weird shape that you can actually get to close. And it just depends on how fast you can get. So between mission and arcade mode, there's different various ways you can play and different various ways to get the high scores for each of those. And it's frustrating, but still fun for some reason. How that happens, I don't know, but sometimes it can get very frustrating. But a lot of fun. And if you like the Atari Recharged games, this is another good one to add to your collection. And then I did also another video that dropped recently about a game called Frank and Drake. I talked about it last week that it was on deck. I played that, did a video on it, first look. And it's kind of like Marty's game, Stray Gods. No singing in this one, but it is a narrative game where you choose certain actions, solve puzzles in the story. And you're basically trying to figure out the story between about Frank and about Drake, how they connect and how they help each other out in solving certain puzzles throughout. Because one of the characters, I think it's Drake, cannot go out during the day, but he can interact with things at night. And then Frank is, of course, asleep at night. So you get a lot of different elements in it. I got as far as what you saw in the video. I still have to pick it up and play, and I'm hoping to be able to get a chance to play some more. It did intrigue me enough to keep playing, and I'm hoping to do that this weekend. So that was Frank and Drake.
Okay.
That's what I've been playing.
Awesome. I've just been playing a buttload of Vampire Survivors.
Schwackload.
A schwack load, whatever, a load, a lot of Vampire Survivors on Switch. There's a video up right now on our YouTube channel where you can watch me play very first look at that. I also dug back into some old Super Nintendo games this week, just because. And had a lot of time.
You should.
Hadn't had a lot of time to play with school starting back, so plan to remedy that tomorrow and play a little bit more. Hoots, our good friend, asked us this question: Marty, which is better, Vampire Survivors or Brotato? Both of those games are out right now on Nintendo Switch. Both are the same price, and both are kind of similar vein games. And what I mean by that is they are the same, like move around, avoid enemies, it auto fires. The difference is very subtle. And you heard me last week talk about Brotato on the show, that there are ways that you could take your weapons and stack them in Brotato. Like you could combine them to make a more powerful version of that weapon. The difference and the way that you do that is by defeating enemies, and you get coins to defeat those enemies. Or by defeating those enemies, and you actually are able to buy new powers after each round in Brotato. So there's a little breather, and rounds only last 30 seconds. In Vampire Survivors, a full round is one round, like as long as it takes you to die. And whatever you collect is what you upgrade. So if you, you get the gems for defeating the enemies, and it starts off very simply. I think it's like 3 or 4 gems. You get a chance, and you get to upgrade. And when you do that, you get the ability to pick like 3 things. And then if you get a little, you get some more levels on you, you get to pick 4. And then you could stack those upgrades, and eventually some of those things evolve and they become different things. Like there's a garlic weapon, which creates like a damage ring around you, and you just walk into the enemies. But when you upgrade it enough, it becomes a damage ring that siphons health back to you. It doesn't just damage the enemies. So there's
Wario's
a subtle
favorite weapon.
Exactly. There's tons of unlockable characters. Of course, in Brotato, there's a ton of unlockable potatoes that give you nerfs and buffs at the beginning. So I would say that the differences are very similar, but I find myself preferring Vampire Survivors. I don't know. There's something about it that grabs me more than Brotato. It doesn't mean that I don't like Brotato. I actually love the game, and I play both, but I don't know. There's something about Vampire Survivors. Maybe it's the proximity to the Castlevania theme, and I'm partial to Castlevania. Like I love anything that's like Castlevania. So the bonus. There was another question asked about Vampire Survivors DLC. Was it worth it? I've not played that yet. That we did get a pre-release copy of the game that I've been playing for about a week, but the DLC was not available to be purchased alongside that pre-release copy. It's available now, so I'll probably be picking that up, before the next show next week, and I'll be able to talk about it then. But that's it. That's what I've been playing, Vampire Survivors. You should go play it too. Seriously, guys, this game is $5. It's $5. It's so,
and it has a co-op.
It does have co-op, so you can play up to 4 people on the Switch, which we're going to try. Me and my son are going to try that.
Does that make it easier or harder?
I don't know. That's the thing. They show off some pretty crazy scenes in the trailer for them introducing co-op. But for $5 couch co-op, it's a pretty good deal. Now there is the upgrade. I will say this, that there is an upgradable element to the game too, that once you die, you go back to the title screen, and there's a way to upgrade certain elements in the game, and also pay gold to unlock characters, but you don't get money in this game in any speed like you do in Brotato. So there's that. So both of them very worthy roguelike contenders. Should go check them out. That's what we've been playing. Let's turn on the community spotlight.
Guys, we got a ton of questions from our community this week. They showed up. So I hope you're ready to answer some questions. We already got a taste of that earlier throughout the show, but because we sprinkled a few in there, especially if they pertain to certain topics. So here's the rest of them, starting with Jamie. That's JDP Car 18. Does the category of Game of the Year exist in the video game industry solely as a marketing and advertising tool for developers, publishers, and should the idea of Game of the Year be abolished in favor of celebrating all games rather than just the good ones in someone's opinion? So the question was inspired by this X tweet. Chris Seaver on Twitter said, there seems to have been a lot of great games so far this year, which is always worth celebrating, but does it really matter what anyone thinks is the best one? Hashtag F the bad word GOTY.
So let me approach this starting off from two perspectives. Number one, it was funny to watch Baldur's Gate 3 come out, and all of a sudden Tears of the Kingdom was a terrible game. Did you notice that? Like, everybody's like, oh yeah, there's all this, Baldur's Gate's great. It's my game of the year. Tears of the Kingdom had a lot of problems, but these are the same people who, when Tears of the Kingdom came out, were like, this is awesome, or some of the same people. So I think
I didn't get that. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I got a different take from the Baldur's Gate 3 reviews. How, they are pretty much praising the adultness of the game. Whereas, games, if the game had an anime art style, they see one jiggle and think, oh, this guy must be a pedophile. Okay, all right. Definitely different standards going on here, and I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah. So, without getting too much into the Baldur's Gate controversy or whatever, I will say this. I think there's always recency bias when it comes to Game of the Year talk, because it's very easy to talk about like Elden Ring, which came out last year late in the year for Game of the Year, than it was to talk about things that came out in January or February of that year, right? So for that reason, I don't like Game of the Year, because I think it always defaults to what the flavor of the month game is at the time. It's either The Last of Us 2 or Elden Ring or blah, blah, or Tears of the Kingdom.
Elden Ring was an early game. That one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That one did kind of break the mold and was still a high contender.
I never played it, so I forgot the release date, but you're right. But on the other hand, let me say this. I think it's good to recognize greatness. I don't know that the way that the games industry does it for Game of the Year is the right way or the best way. But I mean, we give awards for everything else. Why not this? Right? Yeah. I think it's important to recognize achievement, but I also think that we need to keep in mind there's a grain of salt that has to come with this. And that is that Game of the Year to one person means something different to the next person. Like last year, legit, my Game of the Year was Power Wash Simulator. All right? Now, if you hold that up against Elden Ring or Baldur's Gate 3 or Tears of the Kingdom, does it look like, quote unquote, a Game of the Year? No. But for me, it was my Game of the Year because of the enjoyment it brought to me and the comfort it brought to me, particularly when my dad passed away. Like being able to lose myself in power washing a building and do that and just escape. That was Game of the Year for me. Does that mean that all those other games are crappy? No. And that's where I think that we go wrong in the games industry, because we love to crap on things that we don't like. Not that they're bad. It doesn't, like, we don't even consider that. It's just like, I don't like it. It's terrible. It's a terrible game. Well, no, it's just a game you don't like. And I'm guilty of that. I do the same thing. So I think you look at it two ways. But I also, like, I hate getting rid of things because of this idea of everything is special and worth celebrating. No, it's not. No, it's not. Some things are bad. Like
Scarlet
there's a game.
Violet says hi.
Yeah. Scarlet and Violet's not worth celebrating. It's terrible. It's a buggy mess. It is not a unique and special snowflake. I'm sorry. That kind of mentality from that tweet is basically like participation trophies for games. If we do that, everything should be game of the year. Notice, and I bring that back to my argument about Power Wash Simulator. Notice I said that was my game of the year. So here's my solution, and I'm going to let somebody else talk. I'll shut up. I don't think that I think that we need to leave the game of the year decisions to something like an academy, like for movies. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I was going to actually make the comparison, saying, even with movies, the Emmys can be thought of as a marketing tool just to push certain movies.
Yes. But I'll say this too. A game of the year, for a game to be considered game of the year, it should not just be judged. This panel of whoever judges this cannot just judge it on whether it looks good, sounds good, and makes us feel good. It needs to be judged on things like technical programming prowess. It needs to be judged on things like technical ability and all kinds of things like that behind the scenes that only people who program games would know how to figure out. That's my 2 cents.
I like that. Yeah, because even going back to the movies, movies that are critically high are usually movies I don't care about. Movies that are critically low are usually the movies I like. So it's just because someone says this is Oscar worthy doesn't mean I'm going to like it. And same thing with Game of the Year. Like Elden Ring is definitely not a me game. I could, you should, anyone who knows me would have known that right out of the first trailer. I don't even have to play the game to tell you that it's not a me game. So it's, and I can understand it being a highly rated game. Even though I haven't played it, I see people playing it and see people enjoying it, and do have an understanding. Okay, I can see how someone could call this a good game, even though it's not a game for me. So, the whole concept of the best of anything just is kind of bunk to me. Just in general, it's you either like it or you don't, and that's fine.
Good question, of course, and good answers, guys. So,
Okay.
Well, we got another one from Hoots. Listened to some podcasts recently. I've heard several stories about folks like getting games for birthdays or Christmas as kids, and the effect that kind of anticipation or surprise had on their enjoyment of said game. In today's flooded market with subscription services or your own personal stockpile of games, do you guys do anything to mimic that type of experience for your kids? Or is that experience really any different now than it was when we were young?
Go ahead, Jesse.
I've said this before. We really don't do games as gifts for birthdays or holidays, just because I do what I do, and we have an onslaught of games all year round. So my kids didn't have the same glutton of games that I had, where you only had a few games at a time. So it definitely just different ways of living, from generation to generation. So we really didn't. So we kind of didn't experience this with my kids.
I was going to say it's easier. It was easier when my kids were little and when I wasn't on the show, because now I get a lot of games because we got to talk about them, right? And where before it was like maybe we could skip a game or two. Now the closest thing to that is, I'm not buying that. You've got to buy it with your own money.
Yeah. Or I want this Zelda game, but I'll wait till someone gives it to me for Christmas.
Right.
We can't do that now.
Yeah. We've done that. We did that when my son was little with several things like Skylanders. That was always, you got to wait till Christmas to get it. One year it was a 2DS, because he didn't have a system of his own. That was his first video game system, was the doorstop 2DS. And then I think once for his birthday, he wanted Minecraft he wanted a PS4 and Minecraft. So my parents got him that. So it is hard to do those surprises now. I kind of wish, I miss it. Thanks, Hoots, for putting me in my feels and making me kind of nostalgic for those days. But I think that if we weren't doing the things that we did, like as podcasting and as this whole Nintendo Dads thing, it might be a little easier. But as your kids get older, it's also harder to, and as video game fans, if you're excited about the new Mario game coming out in October, Mario Wonder, I don't really want to wait till December to play that. Right? So I'm going to get it when it comes out, and my kid's going to, my kids will play it if they want to. So I remember those times as a kid. Like, I wish that we still had some of those. Like, I remember waiting for Mega Man 3 and Little Nemo the Dream Master on NES. Wizards and Warriors 2 was one of the big ones for me. I wanted for Christmas one year. And so I miss that. I think it's part of kind of the stolen part of childhood that a lot of kids don't get now, that we had.
Yep. And I was just, while you guys were talking about this, I was thinking some of the things that we do now. Sammy still right now has to save money for games that he wants, the big games. So he's learning that. And if he wants a game that, like, now we're trying to teach him about, do some work, earn that money. So, but there's a point though too, because of how easily accessible games are on the eShop, less so than it was for us, obviously, where we could, the easiest way we could get a game was renting it, if we wanted to try it out. But now for him, he gets $10 for allowance. So there's a lot of games he could go buy on the eShop. Then it's like, do you want to go buy a bunch of these little games? And maybe there's some hidden gems there. Maybe not. Or would you rather save for that bigger game you wanted? And a lot of times the immediate gratification wins out, and then he complains about not being able to get that game. So for him, it's a harder lesson, obviously, at that time. But most of the time it has been, my kids have been, if they wanted a game, they earned it by working, or they put it on their Christmas list or birthday list, or they just asked for money and then decided to pick up whatever they wanted after that. Even for me personally, there are certain games that, like Marty said, there are certain games that we want to talk about now. So we'll because we want to talk about it, we'll pick it up. So otherwise it could have been on a Christmas list, or a birthday wish list. So like one now that I want to talk about is Red Dead Redemption, but I'm probably going to hold off on that and just put it on my Christmas list. So there's a game that, somebody in the family could get me. Usually somebody gets me a game for Christmas, so that's why I'll probably put it on there. And like Marty said, that Mario one is probably one I'll pick up. I will be picking. I actually have it pre-ordered already day one, so digitally. So it is harder to do the thing that we're used to as a kid. And that's something I keep looking back on too. So it's a great question. It's like I look back on it when I had one system and could only buy one game every few months. You squeezed everything you could out of that game, found everything you could do in that game. And that's probably why I love SimCity so much, because there was so much replayability in that game. I put so many hours in there, and I didn't have to buy any other games unless I wanted something different. today it's like we have almost kind of a bad thing where we have access to so much with subscriptions. If you can do that between PlayStation Plus or Xbox Game Pass, even NSO, when they have a few of those games trickling in, and then the review codes, so for us here on the show, it's a different dynamic, of course, than others who don't get the review codes, but still, it's like I kind of want to go back to a single system and just concentrate on the games I get in the single system, and then just kind of be like, that FOMO is the hardest part, right? Where it's like those other systems, it's like, oh, I want to play that game that's over there on the PlayStation or the Xbox, like Starfield. I want to play that. And if it wasn't for what Nick found a really good deal on Xbox Game Pass, I probably wouldn't have picked that up or played it. But I'm hoping to be able to. So it's a great question, hard to balance out. But for my kids, maybe it is a mimic that type of experience for my kids by making them, pay for it.
Yeah. Like when my kids got jobs when they were 16, if they wanted a game, even if they were wanting to pay for it themselves, if it was a number-rated game, I had to go with them because
Yes.
GameStop wouldn't sell them. Except GTA 5 was the one game I said I will not let go with you to buy this.
That. Yeah.
If you want to buy this, you have to wait until you turn 17 and you can buy it yourself. And two out of the 3 kids did exactly that.
Now, there's some situations too that I've done it. Animal Crossing is the quickest memory I have of that, where, especially because of the pandemic, I bought the whole family Animal Crossing for us all to play. So there's exceptions to where there's certain games, or Splatoon 3, actually. I bought everybody except for my wife that game.
Like in Pokemon games, I normally buy 4 copies. In myself and the 3 kids.
I've done that too. So the pair of games they wanted one and I'll get the opposite one, so they have somebody to trade with. So those type of situations, sometimes I would end up buying the game because it was a family thing, like almost like buying a board game, but we bought video games to be able to play, 3 or 4 players on. It's expensive, but we did it. A great question, Hoots. We got another question from Mecca. You know what grinds my gears? How I can't have one of those gamer moments at my home with my parents around where I'll get a bit mad at the game and raise my voice a little, and my parents start complaining. When was the last time you guys rage a bit or said something in annoyance to a game? What do you do if your kids do that? Is it a healthy thing to do in gaming?
I will start with, if you've never got a rage moment, you're playing games too easy. That is part of gaming, is, to challenge yourself. And sometimes that can be an over challenge. I had moments like that when I was a kid, and my parents said, "Hey, watch your mouth." And in fact, I got a little frustrated with Final Fantasy IV earlier today when a fight lasted 25 minutes. Just because the enemy kept on healing herself, and I had to then make sure that my Rosa had enough MP to cast Reflect so that heal would bounce off her and onto me. And it would wear off, and I'd have to recast it over and over again. It took 4 times before I finally took it out. So I was getting frustrated with that, but I did eventually win. But yeah, I know sometimes Matthew gets loud when he plays games, but if it's during the day, I don't care. He's an adult. He does what he wants. If it's 11:30 at night and I'm trying to sleep, I will say, "Hey, I am wanting to sleep. Shut it." But other than that, I'll let him rage what he wants. As long as he doesn't smash anything, I don't care. And even if he does smash anything, he bought half the stuff in that room. He'll be smashing his own stuff. I don't
gotta pay for it. Yes.
The last time for me was when Smash Brothers came out for the Switch, and I was playing through the World of Light mode, and there's a where you're trying to get the Dr. Wily spirit, and it's like you're fighting like 5 or 6 Mega Man clones at once, and they will not leave you alone. It's just, and I was so close to beating it and lost, and I turned around and punched our couch and yelled really loud, and both of my kids were sitting there going, like deer in the headlights look. So yeah, that was it. I got a friend who threw a PlayStation controller across the room and broke it into shards because of Madden. His son kept beating him on Madden.
Madden will do that. Yes.
Yeah, and so I don't think it. Like, here's the thing. I think that what our kids need to see us do, and and I would say even our friends, if you don't have kids or spouse, is they need to see us engage with emotion in a way that is real, but also that we don't lose ourselves to that, right? My wife says all the time, and she's very wise when she says this. She says, you can't control the circumstances that happen to you, but you can control your response. And she's right. I can control my response. And I think about, there are times where I will jokingly say, I want to take my Switch and throw it out the window, right now or whatever. That's just when I quit. Like, I'm going to turn it off, and I'm going to, and that's the policy we've had with our kids, is if it's making you that mad, you need to turn it off. You need to take a break, right? It's time for you to stop and go do something else. And that's just kind of what we've always done. There's no fussing about it. It's just, hey, if it's making you that mad or making you that upset, it's time for you to quit.
Yeah, Mecca says that his dad isn't a gamer, where, all of us are. My parents weren't gamers. Well, I guess my mom might have been considered one, but my dad wasn't. But still, it's, me at 14 years old swearing at a TV. Yeah, I would say, hey, watch your mouth too, at 14 years old. Again, my son at 22, 24, 23, how old is he now? I don't remember. If he swears, that's on him. I don't care. You're an adult. Do what you want. Just don't break anything that belongs to me.
Right. Yes. Yep. And
don't keep me awake at 11:30 at night.
It's been fun trying to teach someone who has emotional, what do you want to call it? Emotional struggles, challenges. Like, everything is 10 times worse when you have, you're on the spectrum or whatever you want to call it. So that's something that's been fun for Sam trying to learn, and also doing the same things that Marty was saying. We do the same thing here. It's basically just it's okay to be angry. It's how you handle that anger, so it's not necessarily complaining. I don't know what exactly Mecca's parents did, to be considered complaining. But it's from our point of view, from a parent's point of view, it may not. From my point of view, I might be considered complaining too, to Sammy. If I tell Sammy, hey, you okay? Maybe you should go put that game down, and take a break. I don't want to. I want to go play my game. That type of thing. It's like, okay, well, you got to chill. You got to learn how to, find that time when, is it fun anymore? If it's not fun anymore, then you probably should take a break. But the anger part, there's nothing wrong with being angry, getting a little bit loud. I've done it. My kid's seen it. And it's like, okay. And I've explained to him, okay, that means it's time for me. If I start getting too angry and it's not fun anymore, then it's time to leave. And we've all seen it too when Jesse plays his games and he's doing getting angry at him. He's like, okay, I'm done. That's it.
I completely forgot about it, but I also played more of Zelda seasons, and I got to the point where I said, I am done with this. This game has BS puzzles. I am not a fan of them, both inside the dungeon and outside the dungeon. You got to jump through 5 hoops just to get into the dungeon, of which you find 50 more hoops. And I started just with Dungeon 4, I said, okay, walk through one lap, go. And even that, I'm like, I'm tired of this. So I stopped.
Metroid Dread got me good, especially towards the end there, the last boss. Like I was at the end. I knew I was at the end. I knew I was at the last boss. And it was like, I could not get past the first phase of fighting that boss. Whatever, Razorbeak or whatever. Can't remember his name. But it was like, okay, I'm gonna stop. I didn't quit the game, obviously, but I was just like, I'm gonna stop tonight because I'm just getting angrier and angrier, not figuring this out. I did think I wasn't going to finish the game because of how hard it felt it was, but I was like, okay, I'll just sleep it off because it was late, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to finish it tonight. So, and I was afraid I was going to wake up my wife as much of my choice words that were coming out of my mouth at that time. So, yeah, and I came back and the next night and beat it. So, is it okay? Do we all get angry a bit with the games? Yes. It's just a matter of how much is it building up? When's it time to stop? And especially when there's other people in the room, like your parents or your spouse or your kids.
Tim, my son's watching, and he said he just wants you to know that he beat Razorbeak on hard mode.
That is awesome. That is congratulations. Fantastic.
And I didn't get that far.
Yes.
He's beating the game on regular and hard mode. So,
and there's all.
He's better than me.
You all know I love Metroid. I will not play it on hard because I don't want to end up hating the game. I was excited to be able to beat it on normal, so I'm good. Thank you. So, but kudos to everybody who can go through hard mode and do all the things you can do in that game in that mode and unlock all the things.
They have like a one-hit kill mode now.
Yes. And they also have
dread mode. Yeah,
dread mode. Yeah, dread mode, and there's the monster rush or the boss rush stuff too. And I've tried that a few times, and it's just like I'm good. I enjoyed Metroid. Metroid's one of my favorite franchises, as everybody knows. But it's like I don't need to play it front to back every mode. So, because I will throw my Switch, and I don't want to do that. All right, great question, Mecca. Hopefully that helped kind of give some insight, both from your point of view and hopefully from your parents' point of view too. So, especially since they don't understand gaming, it's probably harder. And yes, they will complain because they don't understand. Maybe help them understand if that's possible. So, all right, Drew from Dad's After Dark show. If you guys could start over, what career path would you go down? Not a dream job question, but do you love what you do? Would you still pick that career path? Or would you pick a different career path?
I've always wanted to be in software development. Even like 10 years old, like that's what I want to do when I grow up. But if I needed to pick something else, I did. The reason why I got my master's degree is because I was thinking about maybe becoming a teacher as a side gig, which that never happened. So I'm like, was my master's degree worth it in the long run because of that? I don't know. But then like half of my learnings that I have to do every year at my job is basically a rehash of what I learned during my master's program. So maybe it is helping me after all. I don't know. But so yeah, I think a teacher, and I think Mecca said I picked jobs for the four of us, and he even said math teacher for me. So I'm like, yeah, he's not wrong.
For me, I mean, I'm I was going to be a teacher. That's what I wanted to. I felt like I was going to do. English was what I wanted to teach. But I can't imagine not doing ministry, not doing student ministry, working in the local church, and so if I had to do it all over again, yeah, I would do the same thing.
You wouldn't want to be a WWE announcer? or AEW
or-
now.
Or ring talent.
Maybe on the side. Who knows? I don't like getting hurt. So yeah, I probably wouldn't work well for me. So but yeah, but it's weird to talk about what I do because I don't really believe that we make that decision as a person, just out in the world doesn't just go, you know what, I think I want to go be a pastor. We believe that that's a calling so, and that's a whole nother ball of wax we don't have time to get into. But
that's another podcast.
Yeah. So without taking too much time, I would be okay doing the same thing.
Nice. And that was what Mecca picked it for you as well. It was an announcer. And I imagine that was, wrestling announcer. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I like the different options. He also
I would be okay with that.
Justin, he had someone from politics and he had me as a therapist. I thought that was kind of
I
funny.
could see that. Yeah.
For me, it would if I would have known what I know now, I would have gone into radio. Whether you call that a DJ or a producer, somebody, either whether it was on the microphone or behind the scenes, that wouldn't matter. I would have picked that type of job because that was something I wanted to do, but I got discouraged from learning that they don't make much money. And at the time I thought, I had to make better money to be able to do the things I wanted to do in life. So kids, just think about that. Just don't worry about the money thing. That will always come to you. Do what you want to do. Do what's fun. If you want to go do something like being a radio host or something like that, go do it. You'll figure out the money stuff later.
Yep.
All right. Great question from Drew. I hope that answers your question. Chris HL94, if I turned to the book of Nintendo in the Bible and looked up chapter 3, verse 16, what would it be? I wrote down an example from the NIV, Nintendo International Version. For Nintendo so loved the world that they had their own one and only Shigeru. Jesse, can you pronounce this for me? Shigeru Miyamoto. Thank you. Develop games so that whoever buys them shall not be bored, but shall have gaming for life. There you go. How's that?
I'm fine with that.
All right.
My thought
Nintendo
was
316.
Thou shalt have no other mascots before me.
There you go.
Mario 316.
Yes.
I have two answers. They're more short and to the point.
Okay.
What's wrong with you?
Please understand.
Okay.
What's wrong with you?
Those are in other chapters of the Nintendo International Version. I go pick that up and have it in your nightstand.
In the beginning, there were the Hanafuda cards.
Yes.
Yeah, just hopscotch the Love Hotel chapters.
Oh, yeah. Those, yeah.
That's the Book of Revelations.
Thanks for the laugh, Chris. I appreciate that.
Spider Shan asks, if you were an NES speedrunner and time wasn't a factor, what game would you pick to master?
Mega Man 2.
I'd probably do the original Zelda or Zelda 2.
Oh, yeah. That's good. Good answer.
Metroid. That was easy, right?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. I think we know our games.
Right. All right. BB Cerveza. That's Beer Bear. If you didn't know this when we mentioned him before, I call him BB. BB Cerveza. What is one game you cannot stand, but everyone else seems to find enjoyable?
Metroid Dread.
There you go. There's one.
Dark Souls.
Call of Duty.
Yes. Call of Duty.
I can't. I'm having a hard time thinking of one. Actually,
Hell, I could even answer Metroid Prime, and that would upset Tim, but it's not wrong here.
What's a game that I can't stand, but everybody else seems to find enjoyable? It's like I just don't play it, so I don't know if I can't stand it. You know what I mean?
You've never played a game that you just, you hated it so much you stopped playing, but everyone else doesn't mean you finished the game. That's insane. Why would you do that to yourself?
Right? No.
Or you just had a visceral reaction to it.
I just always think it's like this is not for me, so I just move on. I don't.
Tim, you're the best of us. You really are. You are.
I'm not trying to be like better than anybody else. I'm just trying to be like, I guess my mindset isn't. It's just like if it's not fun, I just move on. And
what he's saying is, I guess my mindset isn't negative like you guys.
It's like I can't. It's not like even if I look at it that way, I can't think of it at the moment either. Like if any game I stopped or anything like that.
Yeah. BBC's answer to his own question is Animal Crossing.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay.
That makes sense. Shoot, if I think of something, I'll think of it. I'll answer in our Discord, but I can't think of anything right now that really I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? So, all right. Darth Platypus asks, what do you feel is the most overpowered video game weapon that you've come across?
I got 3.
All right.
One of these Jesse's going to appreciate. Number 1 is, and Tim, you may appreciate this one, is it's the very first thing that my mind went to was the BFG from Doom.
Yes.
That's like...
That's my answer.
BFG. Number 2 is the Metal Blade from Mega Man 2, which you can destroy every enemy in the game with. Even Metal Man, you can destroy with one hit from the Metal Blade. But here is my ultimate answer. It is Final Fantasy VI, the Gem Box Genji Glove combo for Sabin.
There we go.
That lets you hit for 8 times every time that you attack, taking multiple thousands of hit points of damage.
That is the right answer. I was thinking like end of game Samus of pretty much any Metroid, where
Hyper Beam.
Yeah, Hyper Beam with your space jump with whatever they call it, where you can just smash yourself into enemies and they'll die. You're a beast at that point.
That was another one of my answers, especially with Metroid Dread. So at the end of that one, you just are like,
you're a walking arsenal.
It's just crazy. It's just crazy. Great questions. All right. Koopa Kid 80, otherwise known as David, or David, otherwise known as Koopa Kid, however you want to take it. With the impending release of the Switch 2 coming, you are made head of promotion marketing. Assuming the Switch 2 is an improved version of the current Switch, how do you pitch the new console to the masses? Make sure the launch is a banger. Do you have a commercial on a rooftop? Joking. Would love to hear your thoughts.
Well, obviously you have to hire a woman named Karen.
Yes.
This requires creativity, which I'm not good at.
Especially not this late at night.
This is a Justin question.
Yeah.
Business
It really is. It really is. Maybe we ask him when he's on next time.
We're like, Justin, we can't think of this. You got to come on. Maybe he's just sitting here watching. Maybe he can hop on and answer a question.
Maybe
you like this? You like the Switch? This is that, but better.
I'm buying it.
Why would you say that? Did I get this middle picture of Danny DeVito holding a Switch? You like this Switch? You like it, huh? Yeah. Well, here's a new one.
Yes. That is fantastic. I'm sold. You got me.
I think, you have to get Imagine Dragons to write a new song about being a believer. and you show a bunch of trendy people playing it in their house or in the car or on their glasses or whatever they're playing it on now, and I don't know. I
Just
think
take what you did in 2016 up to
Listen.
2017 launch, and you're all set.
I really think that the main point of this question is that it shows how big a job Nintendo has to do with whatever is next.
Yeah.
Right? That like they're going to have to do the impossible. It's like what's the phrase? Catch lightning in a bottle, right?
Mhm.
Again, to really get this over. I mean, I think it'll ride some of the Switch wave of momentum, but I think that whatever they do, they can't be lazy, right? It can't just be, well, here's Switch 2. Or
some of my favorite promotions or marketing was when a newer version of something I liked came out, would be like they would show the original version, then blow it up, using like graphics or whatever, blow it up and talk about, we had this, we did this, you played this, Switch, talks about all the wonderful things it did at this time. And then it's blowing up while they're talking about it. And then new components are coming in. And as those new components are coming in, the new features, they start talking about it. Like, okay, we know you love the Switch. Now we got the Switch 2. We put in a new processor that can do, flippity flops and XYZs and all that kind of stuff. And then we added all these. We added a THX sound chip. I know I'm making up stuff right now, but
do you like flops? We got them.
We got them.
Danny DeVito, we got them.
And then the Joy-Cons are disappearing, and then the new ones are coming on and sliding on or doing whatever they're gonna do, and it talks about all the new technology behind the new Joy-Con.
They kind of did that with the OLED commercial, like when they premiered the OLED. You remember?
Yeah, and made the screen get bigger and all that kind of stuff.
And then they showed up close like highlights of the new speakers,
yes,
and the new kickstand, and they highlighted all of that. I agree with you. I think that's good. Here's one way that and this is an actual real suggestion, is I would love to see them go reuse the old marketing slogan. Now you're playing with power.
There you go. And that's why I appreciated the fact that people were throwing it around, being silly or whatever, but I like the Super Switch name. I know some people don't, Jesse, excuse me. But
I don't know what you're talking about.
I like the Super Switch name because it plays on nostalgia for Super Nintendo. We went from Nintendo to Super Nintendo. Why not switch to Super Switch?
If they do that, they better do the 4-color D-pad buttons.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Here you go.
Yes, or make it gray and various shades of purple. I'm down with that.
No. Right will have the 4-color. Left will have the shades of purple.
Oh, that's hideous and wonderful at the same time. I think that'll be fantastic. Yeah. Okay. Very great question. Great question.
All right. So next question he has is: people have been discussing superhero/Star Wars movie fatigue. An example is the DC Blue Beetle movie that is coming out. Do you feel the same applies to video game genres or first-party characters, RPGs, platforms, or the yearly Kirby releases, perhaps? What do you think Nintendo's thoughts are on this, and do you think that is why some franchise series are spaced out so far from each other?
I don't think, I don't have any specific thoughts on a specific IP, but I will say this. I am so tired of every game crafting. I'm tired of it. Just give me the items.
Yes.
Just give me the stuff. I don't want to build it. I don't want to get the parts for it. I don't want to figure it out. I don't want to build my own house. I don't want to build my own spaceship. I don't want to build a raft. I don't want to build a bicycle. I don't want to glue it together with some green goo. I just want to play a game where you beat the crap out of enemies with some kind of stick or sword that you don't have to make yourself, right? I don't want to cook. I don't want to clean.
I don't want to think.
No, I just want to play a game. I just want to power wash.
Run and gun.
I swear, I'm tired. Like, can you imagine how awful Contra would be if they're like, hey, you could put together your own guns now. You could craft your gun. No,
Yes.
stop it. Stop it. Don't do it. Ugh, I hate crafting. I can't stand it. Anyway.
Yes. And even
that is
like,
where I'm fatigued. Every game has crafting.
right.
Yeah. Well, the thing about the comparison with hero movies and Star Wars movies, I think a lot of that is just lately the quality of the end product has been questionable. Yeah, most of the third trilogy of Star Wars movies, the Flash movie.
Why do everybody keep bringing up the Star Wars trilogy, the latest one? Come on, it wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't. Because you know why? Because some internet article told them it was cool to hate on it. That's why.
That's okay.
Yeah.
10 years from now, everybody's going to be loving it just like they did the prequels.
I still liked all these movies.
Yes.
But I'm talking about the general consensus.
I know, general consensus, yes.
Yeah.
I wasn't talking about you specifically. I was saying general consensus. Why is everybody hating on these things? Yes, there's some cheesy parts.
Yeah.
I will give it that. But there were
20 years ago,
there
because
were in
they
the originals.
Yeah, the 20 years ago, because that trilogy wasn't the first trilogy. Right. Now, because they're not the second trilogy.
Yes.
Anyway, but I'm actually looking forward to the Blue Beetle. I'm hoping that is, an upturn in quality. Yeah. This was still done pre-James Gunn, but at least James Gunn have given it the nod that this character will be continuing in my universe, which that's a kind of a good sign right there, where
I've heard some good things about it too.
We still don't know if Ezra Miller's Flash is around or not. He's a loony. But and then like the entire Wave 4 of Marvel has been meh.
By the way, post show we're going to talk about that Flash movie.
Are we? Okay. All right. So yeah, it's just so like the last 4 years of movies has just been in general, at least not compared to the 5 years before that. So it's
Guardians of the Galaxy was still good.
Oh yeah, that was probably the first good Marvel movie in a while to give it its upturn that it needs. So
and also a James Gunn movie.
that is true. I see a pattern here. So I'm still looking forward to all these other superhero movies coming out. I will like almost every one of them. Again, the only recent movie I didn't like was the Turtles movie, and I've already talked about that.
Yeah. I think it too is when they're starting to, it might be fatigue because they're starting to go with things they're trying to find new things from things that aren't as popular, or as much as we know, like when they started out with the Avengers and all that kind of stuff.
Or they're trying to do things that are that's obviously formulaic, and people are noticing that these are formulaic and saying
there's nothing new being brought up.
We want something new. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been tough go for them, yeah, for sure. But I'm looking forward to the Ahsoka series and that Star Wars.
Yes,
I do like the different takes that everybody's been taking on the Star Wars shows. Now, will it translate to the movies they're now switching back to? We'll see. But I'm excited to find out. All right.
Yep.
And we got a question in the chat from Mo Spankins for you, Marty. Would you recommend AEW Fight Forever? I still go back and play WCW NWO Revenge. Would it be worth it? How does it feel compared to old school wrestling games?
Yeah, so total feel like the old school games. But one of the things I want to say on the front end is that after spending time with AEW Fight Forever, it's a little bare bones compared to those old games, especially when it comes to Creation Suite. The Road to Elite's fun. but it ends way too early. And then after that, it's like, well, what do I do now? I mean, you can play it online, but apparently there's not a lot of people playing online, and there's also not a lot of fair people playing online. There's a lot of quitting going on, when matches close to being won. However, the engine of the game, like the core, the bones of the game are so good. They're so strong. I think this is a great first outing for them. I don't know that it's like going to be like endured, like remembering or remembered as an enduring title in the wrestling world. However, it's got some great things about it, and there's more to come. Like it looks like that there's more features that they're going to add over time. The start of which being 6 DLC characters, 2 of which are already out. So I think it's fun. I love to jump into it and play it. It's very fast paced. It feels great. It's a lot of fun. I've created a couple characters that I've had fun with too. But it's like any sports game. And I think wrestling games suffer from this a lot more than a lot of like NFL teams and like NFL, NBA stuff, is that wrestling games get so far behind the current storylines that they always feel like it's a little too late, right? Like, if some guy debuts and he's been on the screen for a month and then the game comes out, then it's hard to get him in the game. You might get him in his DLC, or he might be in the next yearly release. I don't know that AEW is going to be a yearly release. I hope it's not. I hope it takes more like a 2-year break and does some stopgap DLC in between.
It also asks if there's crossplay with AEW. Ooh,
that's I don't think so. I'm not the person to ask about that. But other than that, I have enjoyed my time with it. It's not it's not going to set the world on fire. It does not support cross-platform play, according to the publisher. So, but there is one of the things I'm excited about is they have an online 30-man, like almost like a battle royale type mode planned called Fight Forever, or Stadium Stampede. I am looking forward to that. So
nice.
It looks insane. But it still says coming soon, so
that'll be a game changer right there if it works well, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, I'm really excited about it. So I think it's, if you could catch it on sale, like if you're on the fence about it, maybe catch it on sale. I'm willing to bet that it'll be on sale this Black Friday. That's the word I'm looking for.
Nice.
I bet it'll be on sale this Black Friday. So there you go.
Very cool. Well, shout out before we end the show to everybody who stopped by and gave us hung out in the chat here. We got trying to call, there's some weird names in here. But BB Cerveza stopped by, Commander Root, Drapesnat, Ebicel, Flawless Diamond, Jason, Kata, Mecha, Miz, Infrendo, Norwegian Girl, Spoofo, Waji, I don't know, 77. Like I said, there's some hard to pronounce names. Viola, I don't know. All these names, I love seeing the names and these creativity in the names. But thank you all for stopping by. And a huge thanks to our Patreon producers, Dave Ernsberger, RJ Kern, Jacqueline Amira, David White, as well as to the other 90 plus Patreons. Thank you so much. And special thank you to our 13 Twitch subscribers and over 1,400 Twitch followers. Don't forget, you followers, you can subscribe to us too, especially if you have Amazon Prime. That'll get you into our Discord. And a shout out to our 6,882 YouTube subscribers. We're getting closer to 7,000 peeps. Get us over. Help us get there. Thank you, everyone. We would not be here if it weren't for you, and we would not be able to do the things we do, like send Justin to the Nintendo Live event at the the beginning of September. Looking forward to that. Check out our website, nintendodads.org, for Spotify podcast feeds on our show, as well as the other Nintendo Dads family of podcasts like Game Pass News, Dads After Dark Show, Retro Logic family of podcasts like Retro Logic, On Topic Retro, Retro Groove, and Film Logic. Also, our latest YouTube videos and tweets are there, links to all our social media, Patreon, and Extra Life pages, and Nintendo Dads merch. You can easily get to our merch, and we got a new graphic for you guys to go download and not download, but go get a sticker or get some stickers, get a t-shirt, get a hat, all kinds of different ways to get it. It's pretty cool mushroom looking graphic we got. You can easily get there by nintendodads.org/merch, and that'll take you right to our merchandise shop. And don't forget to check out our sponsors like manscaped.com. Get 20% off your Manscaped order with free shipping with the code NINDADS. And right now, you don't even have to put in NINDADS. You get 20% off right now on their sale. But once that sale is over, you can always get 20% off with the NINDADS code. You can contact us in most places by typing Nintendo Dads, or email us at nintendodads@gmail.com. Call in and leave a voicemail at 92925-NDADS. Big thanks to OC Remix for the music throughout the show. Download from your favorite podcast app of choice, and please leave us a 5-star review and a comment. For me, for Jesse, for Marty, and for Justin, who was abducted by aliens, good night.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.
What's wrong with you?